for a second there. I think in life, you've got to be able to recognize the good times that you've had and, use those to help you during the bad times. And recognizing that, those good times can come back. They're not gone forever. The world is what we make it. I like to think about my family's past. Like I've had a really good life compared to, like my great grandfather worked in coal mines, served in World War II, and he had a much harder life than I have. My grandpa served in Vietnam as a kid, make rough decisions that affected his life, and I never had to do that. I had a much easier life and a good go around in comparison to others. And even if my life gets hard, it's been really good so far. I've had a lot of blessings that others don't. And I'm not an optimist. I am a realist, and I think though that the pessimistic view that a lot of people have of what's going to happen tomorrow if they don't get their way isn't going to come to fruition. It's like we think that if one side wins over the other. And I've heard both parties talking about this, that, the whole system's going to break down and we're going to go into civil war and all these problems. And they based it off of narratives from the past. But we're in a much different place than we were in the past. And I definitely think that there is an opportunity to avoid the mistakes we made in the past. It's like everybody talks about the fall of empires, like the fall of Rome, the fall of, all of these empires throughout history, the fall of England, the British Empire, and they're like, well, America's got to fall. And I just don't think that's true. I think the majority of people want the freedoms that the Constitution guarantees us. They want the ability to set their own path, choose their own life, choose their own belief structures. And I think that when something threatens that, increasingly, people will wake up to push back. Not necessarily a civil war. There's lots of ways to push back before it gets that bad. We just get hustled in this life into making bad decisions and snap decisions. I think if you realize like a lot of the control and power people assert is just an illusion. It's not real. They're just very good at convincing us that they have power. And it doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but again, I think that's where you have to pick what in life you find that brings you the most joy. It's where the blessings of like good memories and good experiences come into place. As you can sit back in a bad situation and think of better times. And if you can think and remember better times, then you can imagine those times coming back. And if you can imagine those times coming back, then you can plan for those times coming back. If you can plan for it, then you can execute that plan and make those good times a reality again. Well, my great uncle used to sing at all like the family reunions, and it was a really big part of like family reunions. And when he passed away, he the last two songs I sang with him as he was dying, and one was the song "Amazing Grace" and "Take It Easy" by the Eagles. "Amazing Grace" is not by the Eagles, but the "Take It Easy," I've listened to it over the years and it always makes me emotional. But in the last few years, the thing I take away from it the most is the part where it says, find a place to take your stand and take it easy. And I think that's what you have to do is figure out what's most important to you. Figure out how to protect what's most important to you. Make a plan and then relax. Once you've made your plan, then take it easy. Don't keep stressing over it. Just take it easy. And then Amazing Grace, of course, has its own obvious meanings for life. But I always appreciate that concept. Both concepts. All right, I'm gonna go down to the 30 pounds. And just know, like all that I said so far about, you know, finding joy and all that, it's a continual exercise for me. It's not easy, and I find myself mentally spinning out sometimes, thinking about all the things that could go wrong. But you know, you just gotta work it out so we continually come back to like the good spot. What's up, Teeks 3D? How's it going? You having a good, nice, relaxing Tuesday? See Venom: The Last Dance? I haven't seen it yet. Is it out? I didn't realize it was out. I saw them and Carnage and Last Venom. I didn't realize it was out. I'll have to go see it. Did you see it? Was it good? I like Venom. I like a lot of the anti-heroes. I like to see the struggle of, the temptation to go bad or to cross lines. I think that's very realistic struggle. I tell you though, I like this Venom better than the Tobey Maguire Venom story. I wish they would do though the actual like Venom story better. I think it would be cool. Tom's a better built Venom. Yeah, Tom Hardy's a really good actor. I think unless someone's watched like Peaky Blinders, it's easy to not realize how good of an actor he is. When you compare like Tom Hardy as I can't think of his name, but his character from Peaky Blinders versus his portrayal of Venom and Eddie Brock, you can definitely see his range. He's a really good actor. Plus, I think Peaky Blinders had a really good cast, which also helps push acting. I think a good cast and good directors, a good director makes for the best movies or best acting opportunities. Like I'm gonna say something that might be sacrilegious to some, but I don't think um, Mark Hamill is a good actor. I think he's fine as a voice actor for the Joker, but I've never really liked him as an actor, except in the fall of the House of Usher on Netflix. And I can only imagine that he did such a good job in that because he had a good director. I've never seen him act as well as he did in that show. All right, I'm gonna switch to shoulder shrugs. worse stands? I'm sure there is. All right. All right, gotta change my. Gotta switch back to the 55 pounds on the dumbbells. In a second. Yeah, I think Mark Hamill is not a great actor. And I think that George Lucas is not a good director. That being said, like, I grew up on Star Wars. I like Star Wars a lot. Some of the best stuff in Star Wars is Han Solo. And very little of what has to do with Han Solo has to do with George Lucas. And more with Harrison Ford. So. And don't get me wrong, I really like Star Wars, so I definitely appreciate George Lucas as creator. Tom's post-credit scene in No Way Home. Yeah, that was good. Tom Hardy has also got a body that I would like. I'd like to. There's a couple of pictures of him when he was like working out for Venom, even though he wasn't really in it. But I think me and Tom Hardy have a similar body height, or where he's just a tad taller than me, according to all the stuff that is posted about him. But I know that actors lie about their height, so he's probably about my height. But we both have like broader shoulders. I think we have similar build. So I definitely would like to get in the shape that he was at some point in my life. Hopefully Tom will be in Spider-Man 4. Yeah, what do you think about I heard they were going to do some more with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Like, do you have a preference between Tom Holland's Spider-Man versus Andrew Garfield's? Andrew Garfield definitely looks more like Spider-Man from the comics. He definitely looks more like Peter Parker than Tom Holland does. No, you don't like Andrew Garfield? Or no, you didn't hear that they were going to do another. I would love for them to do another cross dimensional, more multiverse, rather not dimensional, multiverse Spider-Man with all three of them again. I like the older Tobey Maguire. Doesn't matter who plays. You don't care. What about a Henry Cavill Wolverine? Would you want to see that? Versus, I want to say Radcliffe. I think it's Daniel Radcliffe. Was the Harry Potter? There was the idea of floating Harry Potter as Wolverine. I saw some mock-ups, and it didn't look horrible. It wasn't the worst idea I'd ever seen. You'd have to bulk up more. Do you have any thoughts on the Robert Downey as Doctor Doom? I'm just curious to see, are they going? Is it Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom as Doctor Doom's solo movie, like Morbius, and or is it going to in Venom, or is it going to be pulled into, either the Fantastic Four or attacking the Avengers? You go with Tobey Maguire. Yeah, I was a kid when those Spider-Mans came out with Tobey Maguire. And we were so excited about a Spider-Man movie. Like I was too young to be like a critic of it. I thought Dr. Octavius was a good Dr. Ock though. The guy they used for Spider-Man. Joey Diaz, the comedian, made it into that scene when the guy is protecting Spider-Man from Dr. Octopus. I haven't seen much Fantastic Four. I I read Fantastic Four a little bit when I was a kid. I was never a huge fan of team ups or like the teams. Like I was never a big Avengers fan. I was never a big Fantastic Four. Not a huge X Men. I liked Wolverine solo adventures. I like Spider Man, and I like Daredevil a lot. And then of course I liked Superman, but I like Superman more of as an idea. In a comic book, he can get boring because he's so overpowered. I think I think Batman makes for a better comic book series than Superman. You didn't mind the last four, the last Fantastic Four, like when it was like the younger crew. I didn't think it was bad. They just abandoned like sticking with it so fast. I think I like John Krasinski as Reed Richards. I thought that was funny. I like that somebody. I didn't come up with this. I saw somebody did a short on YouTube about it, but it was that Reed Richards was supposed to be the smartest man in the world, but he told Wanda exactly how to take out the tuning fork guy, like take away his mouth or whatever his name is. I can't think of his name. Like told him exactly how to beat him, and it's like, oh, so much for being the smartest man in the world. You explained all the guy's weaknesses. I wonder if Namor will show back up again. Because he was an enemy of the Fantastic Four. He was obsessed with Susan, with the Invisible Girl. I think at one point he tried to force her to marry him. Can't remember exactly. A long time ago. I got one more set and I got a jet. I wish they would have done more Daredevils, the ones they did on Netflix. I really like that. And I wish they would just keep doing Deadpools forever. Like Ryan Reynolds could play Deadpool for a long time, no matter how old he gets. Like they barely need him to be there except for the jokes and delivery. And he could wear that mask and do it forever. All right, I'm out of time today. Thank you for hanging out. Cheeks 3D. Hope you have a good Tuesday. And just closing out, like guys, just remember, whatever happens today, it's not over. We as a country have been through incredibly rough times and persevered. And it's up to you what you make of whatever the results are of the election. But God bless you. Have a good day. Stay safe.